All right, welcome to the weekly Wednesday Team Prosperity meeting. This week, we're going to continue on our multi-week marketing series. We're going to be concentrating on LinkedIn. Before we do that, we'll go through a couple things that came up over the week. We're in the middle of February, so you should be dialed into the year. Over the coming weeks and months, you should be able to get a lot accomplished. We're coming off a time period right now where there is a sense of normalcy starting to return. So you need to understand that people are on the move, money's on the move. Got to stay in front of people, let people know who you are, what you do, why you do it, why they should listen to you. Just learn to talk about your business and watch what happens, because the business that we're in, it's in, hot topics of conversation on the tops of people's minds. So understand that what you have to offer in terms of education, technology, back-end products and services, people are interested. You just have to learn how to open your mouth and talk to them. This kind of reinforces what we're talking about. The average size of a new mortgage just set a record. 30-year fixed mortgage has jumped, about 20 basis points there. 650,000 on the loan balances almost. The average purchase loan was 450,000 plus. So what this is all saying, guys, and I try to keep this in the Facebook group for you, is that new home purchase, that huge tsunami of that happening, as well as the refi game, that's mostly over. So going forward, people are going to be into the homes they're going to be sticking around with for a little while. They're into the loans they're going to be having for a little while. So no longer are they thinking about the refi part of it. Now they're thinking about, how do I get rid of the mortgage? That's where you step in. And then on the other side, this came up this week. We're not asking people to become totally debt-free. We're asking people to get rid of toxic debt that enslaves them and holds them back. So debt-free does not mean that your client ends up having zero debt. That's what they want. That's the path we'll carve out. Debt-free in our world means that you're avoiding all debt that does not pay you to hold it. Goes back to the principle of cash flow. So understand what we're trying to do is put people in healthier financial positions. That end point and that goal for people is going to be unique and specific. We're not asking for everybody to fit in the same exact box. Okay, so menial tasks, daily tasks that we do every day, hence the name daily. If you don't do those daily, what happens is you'll get the notifications start to pile up in the CRM, on the social media platforms, and you'll become overwhelmed by a small menial task. You'll become overwhelmed. So, stay on top of stuff. Little things that are ignored over X days or X weeks, they really pile up. And if you don't have a control on your business activity, you're not going to be able to manage other people into effective action. We've got to focus on the kind of sweet spot between the things that matter and the things that we can control. Right in the middle of that is what we should focus on. So if we're focused on the things that don't matter, or we're focused on the things that we cannot control, then we're not focused on anything worthwhile. So you have to understand the action, the intention, the objective of what you're trying to do on a daily basis has to have a meaning behind it. And the meaning comes from understanding what you're doing, why you're doing it, how you're doing it, and for what reason. It's a repeated path. So if you want to look at an equation for a business like ours, it's data, whether that comes from a common market, cold market, warm market, social media market, it doesn't matter. It's all data. From that data, at certain intervals of time, we get interested parties from our education, from our guides, whatever it might be. Those interested parties turn into leads for a percentage of those. Percentage of those turn into meetings. Percentage of those turn into outcomes. Some positive, some negative, it doesn't matter. We're getting the outcomes. From the positive outcomes, we get business growth. And we repeat this cycle over and over and over again. It's not hard for you. It's not hard to teach to somebody else. Just understand, the more data that we're getting through, the more people that we're talking to, the less time that we're getting hung up on talking to people that don't fit our persona, the easier this whole filtration process gets for us. And then it's just numb to the process. You're trying to help people that want to help themselves, not wasting time on people that don't, and then just moving through this process continuously. We talked a little bit about this before the meeting started today, but if you have important stuff, you've got like your calendar of things that you have to do on a daily basis. You've got a CRM, you've got other to-do lists, whatever it might be. But if you've got somebody that you've got to resolve. Let's say they're to the point they're making a decision. They were supposed to do A, B, or C, haven't done it yet. You need to keep those people on a calendar, not a whole lot of people, but just the most important things that you need to resolve continuously. Today's Wednesday. If it doesn't get done today, or if I don't reach them today, it's getting moved over to Thursday or Friday. If you don't have things that are continuously in front of your face reminding you, things fall through the cracks. And then just like if we don't do things over an extended period of time, if we let things fall through cracks over an extended period of time, that's lost revenue, income, business growth, and that's going to hurt. So last week, you guys, we talked about thinking and marketing like a business owner, learning to think and act like a business owner. Different components of your online presence, what makes up your online presence. Creating quality audience through targeted marketing. Who do I want to talk to? Where do I find them? What message is it I'm giving to them? How innovation unlocks different value for different types of people. You have to understand the value of the disruption is going to be different. We talked about that and how to align that with the people you're talking to. Raising awareness to gain interest in what you do, and just a very simplistic breakdown of the marketing formula. So we're talking about LinkedIn this week. LinkedIn is a powerhouse platform, and it can give you everything in return, but you've got to invest the time, energy, resources on the front end. You can get a lot done organically on this site with zero money paid out of pocket. When we talk about the big two, Facebook and LinkedIn, it's really about building your brand. And the difference is you're talking about a personal site and a professional site. Both of them, basically, we do the same thing. We are, connecting with like-minded people. We are, sending messages. We are posting. We're interacting. We're joining and communicating in groups. On the messages, it can be as easy. I was connecting with people on LinkedIn today. Hey, I like connecting with entrepreneurs. What do you do? How is business? What got you into blank, whatever it might be. Just asking simplistic questions creates positive interactions. And then at the appropriate point, when they ask you what you do or how things going from your side, you can interject with value propositions like the guides. But understand, you just don't attack somebody with something. You open up some pleasantries, get a couple positive interactions there, insert yourself into the conversation at the right point with the right material. Another thing that you need to understand, besides the difference in professional and personal, you also need to understand where each site is. So LinkedIn is still scaling. Facebook is reach scale. And all that means is when something is reach scale, they want you to pay for the real estate. LinkedIn still scaling means that organically, if you make the algorithm happy and you're, you put some effort into this platform, organically, you can get a lot of reach, you can get a lot of views, you can get a lot of growth. But I guarantee you that when they also reach scale like Facebook did, they're going to start charging for the same real estate that we get for free. And this is just to back that up, guys. If you were willing to go out there and put some content out, and content doesn't have to be, long. It doesn't have to be, it can be a lot about what you do on a day-to-day basis for your business. So we're going to go through that, but just understand that there's 9 billion content impressions on the LinkedIn feed weekly. And there's only 3 million users that share content weekly. So quick math, that's a lot of eyes, much less content. So once again, if you're going into a platform like LinkedIn, you need to understand how to use it, why to use it, and then what to do to get the best end result for yourself and your business and your agents and everything else that goes along with your business model. Somebody in our group is starting LinkedIn from zero. They're going to have 0 followers or a brand new account. So when they look at it, most people say, I don't have any followers, so this is going to be really hard. Well, you go through a process of adding followers, and that's pretty easy. So building an audience of like-minded people that you want to surround yourself with, but you also gain a lot of followers through content. So what do you need? You need content on LinkedIn. You need to understand that you're not going to be an expert on this platform overnight, but it is worth investing some time learning, implementing, failing, succeeding, and finding out really for you in your personal brand, what's going to work best on this site. Remember also going forward that, content the most uncomfortable content is probably going to get you the best result, meaning going on video, talking about your day, talking about your failures, your successes, what's happening. Let people get to know the authentic and genuine version of yourself, not something fabricated and unreal, but just what is it that you do, and just share a little bit of yourself. It's uncomfortable for me. It's uncomfortable for Alana. It's uncomfortable for a lot of us, but people are going to be attracted to genuine, authentic people that go online and share stuff about them in a meaningful way. So understand that video content is very, very important going forward. And then you need to, from the very, very basic foundational understanding of LinkedIn, know that your LinkedIn profile is some of your best real estate that you have online. So we're not talking about building a website from scratch and doing SEO. We're talking about taking existing infrastructure and understanding the value of what it really provides you. So your LinkedIn profile, first of all, you need to have a complete profile. Second of all, you need to probably, if you haven't done this, Google yourself, because things like the LinkedIn profile will come up in the Google search. So if I'm doing business with you and I can't find you online anywhere, or if your LinkedIn profile comes up, it's incomplete, it has something to do totally different than what you're talking to me about, that's going to affect my either desire to continue the conversation, to attend the next meeting, to do whatever it is that you're asking me to do. So understand that your profile is important, and your profile is going to tell people a lot about you, but it's also going to give access to outside parties to learn more about you. So with that in mind, one of the first things that you have to make sure that you do, you're not a secret agent here. You're not an undercover operative. You need to make sure that your profile is visible to the public, so that if I'm searching for you online and your LinkedIn profile comes up, that I can access it and learn more about you, and get that rapport, trust, credibility, whatever it is that I can get online through a platform like LinkedIn. So with that in mind, guys, you do not want to get a boring LinkedIn profile. You're not looking for a job, and this isn't like the year 2000. You want to go from a resume type info profile to a profile that would extract value for you as a business owner. And what that is, it's a sales and a marketing machine. So once you understand that your profile serves a lot of different purposes and what it can potentially do for you, you also have to realize, hey, I'm not going to carve out 2 hours on a Sunday and complete my LinkedIn profile forever. It's an ongoing thing. You can add more stuff to it. And the more that you put into this, the more value then you can extract. So your banner, that's, that's what people are going to see first. What's in it for me to connect with you? How are you going to help whoever you're trying to build an audience around move away from their pain point towards their pleasure point? Remember, we're in the business of solving problems. The problems that we solve are big, but you have to make sure you let people understand that and know that. And, if you're, for example, on the recruiting side, how would you help somebody get more prospects, recruit more team members, close more sales, whatever it is, recruiting, sales, education, management, what is it that you do? Your banner needs to have some good information there. Like I said, it tells visitors what you do, how to contact you, uses keywords to describe you. If you don't have a good banner, don't like your banner, you can go to a site like Canva and you can create a banner for free. Your headline is going to default to the most current job title that you have if you don't change it. You need to make sure that when you look at your profile, it's telling your audience what you want to tell your audience. And then you can't get by. I don't even ask for a connection request for somebody who doesn't have a decent looking headshot. You got a 10 times greater chance of profile views with a good picture. If you're going to do business with the outside public, you need to have the opportunity for the outside public to get to know you in various ways, including being able to see your face. When you're out there in public, LinkedIn is a great way to take your connections from offline to online. It's not asking for a Facebook, it's not asking for Instagram, anything that. LinkedIn is a great way to kind of make that bridge over from offline to online. And you have to understand that 50% of the buyers on LinkedIn will avoid sales professionals with incomplete profiles. So you understand you can either help yourself or hurt yourself with the profile. Lack of or full profile, it's going to make a difference. And then when people use Google and they're searching, there's a 70% chance or better that your LinkedIn profile will show up on the first page of Google. So Ask yourself, Google yourself, based on this profile, would you do business with yourself? The answer is no. Fix up your profile some. And then the summary, under the headline, the banner is your summary. Your summary section can go through everything from an elevator pitch, more description about what you do, but it also can go through a little bit more about how you can help. Hey, I've been from this point to this point. I know how you feel. I feel the same way. And then introduce the solutions. And then emojis, all these things that can help you stand out, obviously take advantage of those. The LinkedIn summary is an extension of that banner in the headline. There are 13 places for media like text, videos, testimonials, PDFs. You want to take advantage of all that space. If you're trying to turn your LinkedIn profile into a marketing hub, into a sales lead generation hub, whatever it might be, you take advantage of all the space that you have. Your contact information should appear in the summary. If you want people to reach out to you, make sure that it's out there. And then make sure you include your email, your phone number, your website if you have one, whatever it is that people can access, even if they're not connected with you. If you don't want to give out your personal cell phone, get something like a Google number. Just make sure that if I land on your profile and I want to contact you, that I have the ability and the data to do so. Add as much as you can in every possible section. Videos and images, things that jump out. We are visual people as human beings. So number one is the thing that's going to get me to stop is the picture. Is it a cool picture? The imagery? Is it aesthetically pleasing? And then you want to endorse your connections for skills. So this could be a way to, shore up a conversation. Let's say I'm talking to somebody and I'm talking to them, about a potential business partnership, and I've given them some instructions to do. After the conversation with the instructions via email and LinkedIn message, I'll go in and endorse them for some skills as well. That way it's another positive interaction, another way to remind them, oh yeah, Mike sent me that. I need to do that. I need to get that back to him. And then have a call to action. If you're leading somebody to somewhere, it can't just be roundabout circles. Lead them to a defined endpoint. Do you want them to register for a webinar? Do you want them to download a guide? Do you want them to get more information about a product or service? Watch a video, complete a survey. The more that you can get engagement into your profiles, the better that your return's going to be. And then finally, if you're looking to build the audience and you want to build an audience around, entrepreneurs, find out who the entrepreneurs are, the influencers are on LinkedIn, go to some of the things they post, comment on them, see who else is commenting on them, and then build your audience around, those engagements from the influencers. There's a lot of ways that you can pick and choose who you want to be in your audience. Make sure you understand why I'm inviting this somebody, what value do I bring to them, what value do they bring to my network. And then you need to join some groups. Groups are great ways because there's not as much information flowing through the group. So if you post something in a group, it's probably going to be there for a few weeks at least. So understand that even though there's not a massive amount of activity, when people go to those groups, those posts, they stick in there for long periods of time. And also remember, joining groups is a great way to find other people like-minded. If you're joining an entrepreneur group, you're joining a real estate insurance group, and you want to surround yourself with entrepreneurs, real estate agents, insurance agents, whatever it might be, great way is to get into groups. Hey, we're both members of XYZ group. We'd like to make you a first connection, whatever it might be. And then get creative, think outside the box. Remember, just understand that every one of those little categories and boxes, it has a defined location or a defined data point they want in there, but you can do whatever it is that you want to do. Get creative, use different fields for different types of information. And then, when we talk about positive interactions, you've seen those people, you've connected with those people that is instantly when they connect with you, they jump down your throat. Oh, you need to do this. I read your profile. You would make a great fit, or whatever it might be. You want to gain as much positive interaction so that when you do introduce things from your side, it's at a good entry point. So congratulating your network on new jobs, as well as job anniversaries, continues to get in front of people. And if you congratulate them and then they say thank you, and then you come back and say you're welcome, you can put something with that welcome letter. And now it doesn't feel like it was a straightforward pitch. Build relationships and open more conversations by just doing the basic stuff every day that we do on LinkedIn. And then it's time to post. And you don't have to be a content creator. You don't have to be an author. You just have to be real. And remember to engage with people who like and comment on your post. So if somebody's taking the time to comment on a post that you posted, reach back out, thank them, continue the conversation. Like we always talk about, if you were at a cocktail party and somebody came up and said something to you, you're not going to just turn your back to that person. You're going to engage with that person. Same thing online. Posting is one of the best ways to really grow real connections. If you don't know what to connect or don't know what to produce and put as far as content, just look it up. You can take like a Sunday, 20, 30 minutes while you're drinking coffee in the morning while nothing else is going on and just line up. Hey, for the next 3 weeks, this is what I'm going to do on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, Tuesday, Thursday, whatever it might be. That way, when you sit down in front of the platform, you're not staring at it and say, oh, I have no idea what to post. You got a list that you can post. You got things ready to go. And it's all about just being consistent. We talked about this earlier. Remember, this is not going to last forever. So LinkedIn knows the more visibility they give marketers, the more they're going to use LinkedIn, which ultimately promotes LinkedIn as the platform. Once they've reached scale, like we talked about earlier, they'll decrease that organic visibility to sell more ad space. It makes sense, right? It's just real estate. So nothing's going to last forever. You've got to take advantage of the time that we have right now that you can build this organic reach that, in the next 24, 36, 48 months, whatever it is, will no longer be there for new entrants. And that means that content will stay on feeds for days, weeks. We talked about how long it can stay in groups, but it can stay in the general feed for a long time. Any person in your network comments on your post, it's going to show in their feeds, giving content true viral effect by pushing it out. So understand that you don't have to spend money in LinkedIn to get an amazing reach and visibility if you do things correctly. Posts still circulating weeks later, that's valuable for you. So when you're posting, you need to understand that the algorithm either is going to reward you or it's going to, hold your content back. So is it in-house? And then what is the velocity? It's a very, very simple algorithm when you break it down that way, because when we're talking about inside or out, that's stay or go, meaning that when you're posting something on LinkedIn, can I fully engage with the post inside LinkedIn, or do I have to leave to go out? Let me give you an example. If I'm posting something with a YouTube link, that means I have to leave LinkedIn. When I click it, go to YouTube to watch the video. LinkedIn algorithm will reward you more, give you more visibility if you stay your post within the platform. And then secondarily, how quick can you get engagement? If you're following the algorithm and you're staying in-house and you're getting the quick velocity in terms of likes, comments, shares, reactions, you get more visibility. The algorithm will loop it back around, continue to show it to more people. However, if it gets disqualified, kind of like shut it off in the corner. No one really see it. So traction is the name of the game, coupled with making sure that your post stays within LinkedIn. And LinkedIn has some different types of reactions, like celebrate, love, insightful, curious. It really doesn't matter to us. Whoever wants to give whatever one of those reactions, we're just looking for the actual reactions to gain the velocity. And the more velocity that we get on the front end of our post, the more visibility that LinkedIn is going to reward us with. People want to know you guys. And like I said, this is some of the most uncomfortable stuff. What are your passions, your sense of humor? What makes you someone worth paying attention to? You have valuable stories to share. You know things, which is why you're doing the work that you're doing. Sharing your knowledge, expertise, experience on LinkedIn can help other people achieve their dreams. So like I said, just being real, sharing stuff, building an audience, being someone that somebody would want to be around and talk to. And then you have to, commit to both hosting and promoting your LinkedIn content. The algorithm is going to reward you for hosting and promoting the platform. So treat LinkedIn as your main and unique platform. So take your LinkedIn status update, cross-promote it on other markets, other channels, other platforms. The key is getting your URL in front of people right away to drive engagement and tell the LinkedIn algorithm that your update is worthy of more eyeballs. So taking that, in-house LinkedIn content and spreading it out over other areas to drive outside traffic to LinkedIn, the algorithm loves that, guys. And you need to make sure that you stay within the circle. We talked about this. They're not going to give your content visibility if you're promoting something else, promoting other networks. You need to build trust with that algorithm by creating content specifically for LinkedIn. It takes time and repetition before you can do something like this, but once the algorithm recognizes your content as valuable, it's going to give it more visibility. And once you do that, and once you play to the algorithm, your LinkedIn profile, your network, your audience becomes more and more and more valuable. When you're posting, you need to use hooks in your stories. Don't lay everything out in the content section, because then I can just read it and move on. You want to give some type of a hook, a couple sentences, and then where it says down at the bottom, continue reading, read more, whatever it might be. When they click on that, it's also telling the algorithm people are wanting to see this, people are reading more. So, questions, asking for advice, stating a point of view, leading off with stats, success stories, small victories, whatever it might be. You got a hook that leads into the rest of the information. An engaging hook, guys, is critical to stop people from scrolling. We talked about, before, just on Facebook, people scroll on their mobile phones the equivalent of the Statue of Liberty every single day. You've got to stop them. One of the ways is good pictures. Another way is good hooks. So the type of stuff that can get, engagement, the relatable story, the lesson learned, the thought provoker, open-ended question, the personal moment, the controversial point of view. Stay away from religion and politics, guys. The giveaway, the ego bait, and the hack. So understand that if you have the understanding of what you want to post on LinkedIn, you have a schedule of how to post it, you've got some stuff all ready to go, then posting on LinkedIn doesn't become this, monumental task that a lot of us think it is. We've got to put so much effort into just at that moment when it's time to post, I got to get everything ready. So understand, take small periods of time during off hours and get yourself ready for a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks of content. So some helpful tips, you don't have to share, pictures. You don't have to share video content. Text only posts on LinkedIn, if you do them correctly, work extremely well. Emojis, just something to brighten it up, bring some color to it. Like your own LinkedIn post, not immediately. Don't give yourself an immediate high five, but as stuff is circulating through, it's been in there for a few days, you're going back and commenting, reacting, doing the things that you need to do to build engagement, go ahead and like the post, send it back through. Share and embed your own LinkedIn post. Remember, the algorithm will reward you from taking that LinkedIn post, share it in outside platforms. Comment on other people's posts. If you want reactions, start reacting to other people's posts. And then use LinkedIn video, meaning that I don't have to go outside the network once again, or outside the platform to view the video. The first hour of that velocity in your content is very important. So if you want engagement, one of the things that we found statistically is you've asked for it, people will give it to you. So comment below if you agree, let me know your opinion, whatever it might be. And this isn't Twitter. This isn't like constantly things going through off the top of our head. You don't want to post too much. 3-5 times a week, probably pretty good on your profile. Get into some groups. And then the hashtags can be a little bit more than 3, but definitely less than 9. 3 hashtags is probably pretty good. More than 9, they start flagging as spam. And then tag people only sparingly. If you're giving a shout out to somebody, but don't just tag a bunch of people in something to create engagement. That the LinkedIn algorithm is going to pick up on that. And then if you don't know, like news, trends, things to talk about, go to some of the other things that are these type of platforms and conversational platforms. Reddit, Quora, they all have things that people are talking about, money, financial wellness, all those things that you want to look for. It's all right here. What are some of the main topics that most people are talking about it? Take those topics, move them over to LinkedIn, ask for people's opinion, whatever it might be. And then you want to publish longer LinkedIn posts to activate the see more feature. I told you guys about that a minute ago. Space things out, make sure that you have a see more feature, because The more clicks that you can get on that, algorithm rewards that. And if you're creating stuff like carousels for photos, those work pretty well as well. You can post, 6 photos at once. Another thing that works pretty well that will stay on for a period of time is PDFs. You can take most anything and make it into a PDF. You can even take your funnels and make those into PDFs. Those play to the LinkedIn algorithm. LinkedIn likes those, and those will typically stay on for longer periods of time. It's right over here at the folder. So the best time to post in LinkedIn is really just making sure that you do post. So don't think if I don't get it in this certain hour, I'll just wait till tomorrow. But there are some times that typically work best, Tuesday through Thursday, 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. or that Monday, Wednesday, Friday, about 9 a.m. Those will work pretty well outside of business hours. And then, typically on weekends, like a Sunday, terrible times for posting. LinkedIn wants you to get involved. They're actually dying for you to get involved in the platform right now. You might think some of these tactics that we're talking about is just generating fluff, but engagement and awareness of what you do, why you do it, etc., are critical parts of the buying process. We talked about this before, psychological journey of the buyer. People aren't going to do business with companies or people they don't know. With all the noise on the web right now, all the scams that are out there, it's harder and harder to break through without paying for it. And that's one of the big advantages, like I said, with LinkedIn right now. If you're willing to put in the time and energy, they're going to reward you with organic reach that won't be around forever. So use this as an opportunity to create value in your market, spread your reach. While it may not result in direct sales, it's going to help you in your overall marketing and branding efforts. The LinkedIn algorithm is smart. If you want to target specific people, call them out. Hey, insurance agents, hey, digital marketers, hey, homeowners, hey, entrepreneurs, look at this tip, read this, whatever it might be. If you call out who you're trying to reach, LinkedIn actually will see that and it'll boost the post to those types of people. You can use certain keywords in the post. You can use hashtags. You don't have to have a big following to get a big following. I hope that makes sense for you guys. As you're starting out, as you're building this, or as your agents and partners are starting out, we need to work together. So for example, if somebody does something and they want some help with engagement, drop it in the Facebook group. Hey, just wrote a LinkedIn article, just did a LinkedIn post. Now, don't abuse it, but that's one way. Another way is to create group messages inside LinkedIn. So as you grow an agency, maybe you develop a group message where that you guys can post your LinkedIn post and make sure that other people will see it inside the team. Just because, we're all on the same team doing the same thing doesn't mean that we should not be able to assist each other on LinkedIn. So if you see your partner's post, go in there, like it, comment on it, help them out, and vice versa. You should expect the same from us. So let me talk about some helpful tips that will be helpful on LinkedIn as you guys are getting involved, gaining traction, building your profile to a certain status, whatever it might be. Number one is, a few years ago, this might not have been something that I would have brought up, but yeah, you can go ahead and get personal on LinkedIn now. And I think it helps. It helps with branding. It helps with engagement. When you're authentic, genuine, real, you're sharing your life on LinkedIn in a way that makes sense to people and they appreciate. It's going to help you with your presence, with your network, connections, sales, whatever it might be. Also, polls are a great way to get engagement. And so when you're looking at a poll asking for people's opinions, people love to give it. It's an easy way for them to get engagement. So piggybacking off like news and trends, great way to start a poll. And then also, you can add your opinion in the content section and then ask for others to leave theirs in the comment section. So yeah, you want their vote, but also give me your opinion in the comment section. Do you agree with me, not agree with me, whatever it might be. Polls are a great way to get engagement. And once again, engagement is part of the build, engage, sell process. If we're missing engagement, we're going to be missing out on a lot of sales. We talked about the fact that you don't have to get, creative here in terms of, the perfect video, the perfect picture. On LinkedIn, if you do it correctly, text only posts, they work. But you have to understand, like we were talking about, you have to hook it early. You have to space it out so that see more, read more, ... shows up. And these can be, how to, top 3 ways, easiest way, 3 things to know, best way. So once again, if you got a target audience, you're talking to them, you're entertaining them, you're educating, you're getting personal with them, you can see how this real estate and your profile and your network really has value for you. So if we're playing to the LinkedIn algorithm, then one of the things that we want to do is make sure that we're not taking people off the platform. Well, what if I need to get my link in, like I'll do a lot of times? Well, that link would go in the comment section. So now the post is still within the entire platform for the entire post. They can access the off-post information in the comment section. And then also the PDF carousels are really good. We talked about this a minute ago, but those large phrases that stand out, the stats, testimonials, the lead magnets, actionable tips, step-by-step, converting stuff into a PDF, posting as a PDF, the algorithm really likes that type of information. And then videos, whether those be videos with you personally on those, whether those be videos that you're creating, whatever it might be, video. And then remember, a lot of times I'll watch a video without sound. And I think a lot of other people do that. We might not be in a place where, we can turn on the sound. So make sure that you are including the closed caption so I can read the video as it goes as well. We've been talking for our business models, how we want to start attracting a younger client. And for a lot of variable reasons, that's for us advantages and for the clients advantages. But according to LinkedIn, millennials make up a significant chunk of the total user base for LinkedIn. Like it or not, these are decision makers. This is, a lot of money's coming into the hands of this generation. If your target market is millennials, then you need to be on LinkedIn. You need to be talking to them, surrounding yourself with them, helping them, and making sure that you're staying in front of them with the right messages. Entertainment, education, a little personal, peppering, get to know you a little bit. But if your target market is somewhere, we talked about this last week in the basic intro to marketing series, your target market is somewhere, you need to be there and you need to have a message that resonates with a certain percentage of them to get them raising their hand and say, yes, I want more information. Yes, I want the guide. Yes, I want the education meeting. Can you tell me more? And you really need to challenge yourself. You need to challenge yourself on some of these platforms like LinkedIn to do what you need to do to extract the value that you can off the platform. But you need to challenge yourself in really every moment, because we talked about this in the 12-week year. What we do in the next hour has a direct effect on whether or not we're achieving our annual, quarterly goals, whatever it might be. So understand that there's a correlation between what I do now and what I either achieve or don't achieve over X period of time. That's all we have for this week. We're going to continue next week with more marketing series. We're going to go into more social media platforms, traditional marketing, email marketing, to make sure you guys have a complete suite of recordings that help you out with marketing of this business.